I guess I'll start from the beginning. I know everybody knows my name. My name is Leslie. Oh, hi. My name is Leslie. I am 22 years old. I will be turning 23. Damn. So I'm going to be turning 23 in January. I have a 3-year-old daughter that also will be turning 4 in January. And I have stage 4 cancer. And I get a lot of questions always like asking me about how like I'm doing and stuff like that. Like my friends and all that always want to know. And I know a lot of people follow me because of my journey with cancer or whatever. And I do want to document my journey. I've been wanting to, but I just get so like shy and weird. I don't know why. Like I don't see myself like standing talking to the camera and stuff like that. But I want to make my YouTube for a while. So I guess I'll just do it. Like I just like fuck it. Just do it, you know? So basically I'll start at the beginning where I started, I guess. So I just had Jaylene and I noticed there's a little ball. It was the smallest little ball. I noticed it, but nobody else could see it except me. A few like weeks after I felt this ball, I noticed it would move around my stomach. Every time I lay down, every time I would get up, like I would feel this ball, and sometimes it would come to the surface, so there would just be a ball like sticking out. And then I would feel really drowsy. I would feel really tired. I don't know. I just couldn't really understand what was wrong with me, and I thought it was just everybody goes through like I thought it was like depression after Jaylee. I don't know what it was. I just know I felt weird. So I made a doctor's appointment and they told me that I had a hernia. So I was like, all right. And since I was so young, they said, well, that hernia was gonna go away within time. So they told me that my abdominal walls were teared. I think like it was parted, and there was a hernia, and the hernia would just suck back in within time. And I remember I told her, are you sure like this is what I have? And she told me, yeah, this is what you have and don't worry about it. So I went back home, and this ball, I noticed it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it was the size of my palm. And this ball was very painful. It would get really hard, and I couldn't even get out in the mornings. And I remember I just had my daughter, so I used to wear like what are those called, like really really fajas, like waist trainers. And I used to wear them like extra small, like they were just so small. And I remember one time I wore it and I had it on all day because that's how I always did it. Like I always had waist trainers. So this particular time, I remember I woke up because I fell asleep, and I woke up with so much pain in my stomach. I couldn't even move. I couldn't move at all. And I kept crying, and that's when I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going back to the doctor. So I went back to the doctor, and I was like, listen, I know there's something wrong with me. And she's like, all right, well, I'll just make you a ultrasound. And I was like, all right. And this is like months apart. So like I let this get to like maybe when Jalen was already. So I noticed the balls when Jalen was probably like 5 months old. 5 months, yeah. And then when I went back, she was about to be 1 year old. So it was around, yeah, like December. Yeah, like December around there. And the ultrasound, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Denver Health, but they always have like huge ass lines, and there's a waiting list like all the time. So they didn't get me checked out till June. I think it was June, like around June, July. No, June. It was June because I remember. Yeah, it was June. So they did this ultrasound, and I remember like I even Snapchatted it. I was like, imagine they tell me that there's something wrong with me because they did the ultrasound, and the lady kept turning the screen so I wouldn't see it, and her eyes was like really teary. I was like, what the hell? Like, what is wrong? Like, I felt like something was wrong. So she left, and she went with, I don't know where she went. She went, and she was gone basically like an hour, and I was just panicking, like, what is wrong with me? So she came back with another doctor, and she's like, listen, like, you do not have hernias. We're gonna have to put you into the emergency room. So I was like, okay, well, I have to go tell my mom because she was waiting for me in the car. So I go and go get my mom, and I was like, Mom, it's not a hernia. And my mom gets red. She's like, what the hell? Like, you could tell in her face that there was something wrong. Like, she wanted to cry. And the doctor even followed me outside to make sure that I wouldn't leave. So they admitted me into the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan, and that's when my dad came in. And they told me, like 3 or 4 doctors came in, and they told me that I didn't have a hernia, that what I had was masses in my stomach. And I was like, what the fuck is masses? Like, I don't know what masses are. Fucking speak English. And he's like, they're tumors. And I was like, what the hell? I literally started crying, and they were like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, they might not be like deadly, because people get tumors all the time. They get masses and they're not deadly. And then my family, I remember, they're like, don't worry about it. You're just being a crybaby. Like, suck it up. And I was like, no, because I know myself. I know there was something wrong with me. And I just couldn't shake it off. So a few days later, I got admitted to the hospital. And then they told me this, or like how bad it was. And they actually thought that I was not going to make it because there was so many tumors. There was a lot of tumors. And I remember I was so fucking pissed because I went to the doctors and I told them what was wrong with me. And if this lady would have gave me a ultrasound, I would have already been okay. I wouldn't have been so into like the 4th stage as I am now. I think I'm even past it because my tumors are so many. Like, there's so many tumors in my stomach. And basically that's how I found out that I had stage 4 cancer. I will be making another video like explaining what type of cancer I have, but right now it's so hard to explain like the type of cancer I have because it's so rare. It's not that like that cancer that like you like the normal people, like not normal, like it's just not a normal type of cancer, like where I go and they give me I am in radiation, but they give me like chemo, the kind of chemo that your hair falls. I was doing oral chemo for a while, but it was, well, basically what we were trying to do, what me and my doctors were trying to do, is control my tumors because they didn't want it to spread. And that's what we did with the oral. It was stopping it from spreading. And basically now I'm in radiation, which is very, 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 very hard. Like, it is so hard. So hard. I have to, like, I wake up and I'm nauseous all the time. I lose weight all the time. I've had like 6 surgeries at this point, which has been super hard. Like, this is hard. So that's why I want to document it, not just for me, but I want to document it for my kids, because even though I can't have any more kids, which is a whole other video, I do want to adopt, and I do want them to see what I've been through, and I want them to see, and maybe one day if I do beat this, I could like be like, oh, well, look what I went through, because I do want to put all my doctor's appointments in here. I do want to, every time I get surgeries, I want to document it. Every time that I go through my radiation, I want to document it. I'm pretty sure my doctors will let me. They're pretty cool. But for now, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little story time.